Hi, and welcome to CityBeat. I'm your host, Beej, Recreation Coordinator with Lewiston Parks and Recreation. And today our guest is Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity here in the Valley, Rich Goodwin. Rich, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, and thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. So Rich and I have known each other for a few years now. One of the programs that we do with Parks and Rec is Movies on the Wall. And every Friday during the summer we have concessions, and Rich has been a part of it since 2007.
Yes.
Yeah. So Rich has been a part of it as helping out raise money for Habitat for Humanity. So it's good to see Rich here. So thanks again for coming out.
Well, thanks for inviting me again.
So Rich, can you talk to viewers a little bit about what you do with Habitat for Humanity and what it is? I know people kind of know what it is, but what is Habitat for Humanity?
Well, Habitat for Humanity is a Christian-based housing ministry. We build decent, affordable houses for deserving partner families here in the Valley. We were affiliated in 1991, and since then we've built 30 houses here in the Valley. So both Nez Perce County and Asotin County is our service area.
So you actually are servicing two states.
Right. In fact, that's it's kind of an anomaly because there's only 5 affiliates in the United States that cross a state line, and we're one of them. And so, but we're part of an international, because we build in 90 countries around the world. In fact, we just finished, I believe, the 600,000th house worldwide with Habitat this summer. So
wow. So we're well over half a million houses built worldwide.
That's correct.
Wow, that's fantastic. I don't think that's information a lot of people really know. I think really Habitat got a big boost after Katrina. That's really when I learned about what Habitat for Humanity is. So, but moving here from the Seattle area and seeing that there's a Habitat here, it was pretty encouraging, pretty exciting that there's that opportunity for families to have a house that might not otherwise have it.
That's correct. And we're the largest, the 3rd largest producers of Habitat houses in the state of Idaho and the 5th largest in the state of Washington. So we can keep up with the big boys like Seattle and Boise and Portland and Spokane. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
So how is Habitat funded? It's obviously a nonprofit. So how do you guys get money to be able to build houses?
Well, everything's raised here locally. We don't get anything from our national organization, and we are not federally subsidized, so every cent that's raised here in the Valley stays in the Valley.
Which is also fantastic, because that doesn't happen all the time. There's a lot of times there's some fundraising that goes on, and that honestly leaves the Valley.
Right, and we have to have a lot of partners, business partners, individual partners, to build houses, and we have to raise around $300,000 to $400,000 a year to produce the number of houses, and we're trying to raise money for at least 3 houses a year.
Fantastic. So you're looking at $400,000, a year. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. So we appreciate all the donations that do come in.
Yeah. A project that you guys are working on. The reason I wanted to have you on the show is a really cool new idea. It's called 2x4 Walk. It's a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. Can you talk to viewers and tell viewers what is the 2x4 Walk?
Well, 2x4 Walk is a family fun event that we're planning for the week of World Habitat Week. And what it is 2x4 being myself with 2 legs walking my dog who has 4 legs, so a 2x4 walk. And also we put approximately 300 2x4s in a home. And so we're hoping this event will be a fun event, and it's our first signature event, and hope it continues.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to meet with your outreach director, Chet Cram, to talk about this event. And so as soon as you said 2x4 Walk, I got it instantly. I was like, oh, that's genius. Yeah. That's awesome. That's going to be it's going to be fun. It's going to be tons of fun. How will 2x4 Walk help raise funds for Habitat?
Well, we're asking a small registration fee to cover T-shirts and other materials that go into our registration packet, but it's also a pledge program where we ask our walkers to go out and get pledges for each step that they take. For example, there's about 2,000 steps in a mile, And so we have a 1 mile, 2 mile, and a 3 mile course, and we're asking them to get pledges like a penny a mile. Or a penny per step. So that would be $20 for a mile. If they pledge 2 cents, then it would be 40, and so on.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how does someone participate in the 2x4?
Well, we're asking people to register in advance so that we know their T-shirt size, and we can also get them a pedometer because that's how we're going to count the steps, is through a pedometer that they're given, and that's graciously being donated by St. Joe Regional Medical Center because they believe that walking promotes good health.
Fantastic. So when is the event? We should mention that too. So when is the 2x4 walk?
Our 2x4 walk is at the conclusion of World Habitat Week, and that event will take place on Saturday, October the 12th, and it's from 9 to noon at Kiwanis Park in Lewiston.
And then are you walking on the levee system? Is that the...
Yes, that's correct. We'll start at Skateboard Park, the Mountain Dew Skateboard Park, and walk down to the Duck Pond and then back. It's 1 full mile. We're also asking people to make sure that they register a week ahead of time, so have their registration form turned in by Saturday, October the 5th, so that we make sure we have enough T-shirts and pedometers to go around. So.
How do individuals register? Where can they find registration forms?
Well, they can get their registration forms at some of our sponsors like Petco, at Vista, and then they can also go to our website, which is www.habitat or LewistonClarkstonHabitat.org, and get their forms there, and then just download them and then just send them to our office.
And there's also availability at the community center. Chuck brought
Yes.
some registration forms down to the community center.
Yes.
So make sure you grab those from the community center or online so you can register for this event. So when you show up to the event, do you just show up and walk, or is there going to be a process? How is it going to work?
Well, there's lots of things going on. Like I said, you can walk from 9 till noon. So anytime that you feel like coming, but we'll have a lot of things going on. In the morning, we'll have some pastries and coffee by Daly's Bakery. We're also going to have informational booths set up by some of our sponsors. I know the Habitat store will be there giving out discount coupons. Petco will be there. Home Depot. We're even going to have Y105 do some live remotes for us. But and then later in the morning, closer to noon, we'll have free hot dogs and Pepsi products for our participants. And then because we want to make this an educational event along the route, we'll have some informational signs, kind of like the old Barbasol signs. I don't know if you remember those or not, but we'll have informational signs around telling facts and statistics about our affiliate and what they've done here in the Valley. And then also we'll have an opportunity for folks to sign a 2x4 that actually goes into our 31st house, which will be starting here. And they'll have a stud finding event, so you can go to the house and actually try to find the stud that you signed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a lot of fun activities that are going on. We'll also have Riverview Animal Clinic will be there. And also Lewis Clark Recyclers to answer any questions about pet care and recycling.
Fantastic. Yeah. So what about pledges? Let's say somebody does a penny and they take 10,000 steps. Mm-hmm. How's that work exactly?
Well, they go out and get their pledges and then collect them and then turn them in after the event to our office. And then we're offering some really nice incentives for people that are helping us to raise money for Habitat. So if they raise $50, we'll give them a long sleeve T-shirt with the Habitat logo on it, with the 2x4 walk logo. If they raise $200, they get the long sleeve T-shirt and a $25 gift certificate from Petco. At the $350 level, they get the T-shirt, the coupon from Petco, and a free oil change from McClure Honda. If they raise $500, they get the T-shirt, the Petco coupon, the free oil change, and they get a really nice jacket from Royal Embroidery that's been personalized for them. And then the top producer of all of our donations will get a $500 gift certificate for services or materials or product from Inland Cellular. So we're really wanting to raise lots of money, where our goal here is to raise over $100,000, and we're giving some nice incentives, courtesy of our sponsors, to reward them for their efforts to help raise money for Habitat.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So with all that money that you are looking to raise, what's that money going to be used for?
This will go into our 31st house. Obviously, as I said before, we don't get a lot of federal funding or subsidies, anything like that, so we have to raise all of our money. So this portion will go into House 31, but realize that it's costing about $80 a square foot to produce a Habitat home, and so that's where these gifts and pledges will be going, is for our 31st house.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
As usual. And again, I want viewers to understand how significant, how important, how amazing Habitat is. Chuck and I sat down for lunch one day, and I asked them some facts, some stats, and I know you'll be able to talk about it. Talk about the impact that home ownership has, not only on a family or an individual, but on a community.
It really does impact a community. We have students, and this has been done through studies through Habitat International, that kids stay in school longer. There's less sickness in a good, decent, affordable, safe house, because we're building very energy efficient homes, and so there's less visits to the doctor. Because kids have a place they can call home, there's less juvenile delinquency. They're more apt to graduate from high school and from college. And so those are some of the positive things. So it puts less of a drain on the economy of a local community when people go into a Habitat home, because this is the first time they've really been in a home of their own. Because most people rent.
Yeah. So how does a family become a Habitat family? Well,
we have a specific criteria that families need to meet. The biggest one is economic, because we're the bank, and so what needs to happen is if a family of four, for example, makes less than $34,800 a year, they would qualify for a Habitat home. And through the last census, about 30% of the population here in the LC Valley could qualify for a Habitat home. So that's pretty amazing. The other criteria that we use, the first is need. They have to demonstrate need, and that could be they spend more than 30% of their income on housing. For example, here in the Valley, the average rent in the Valley, according to the last census we had, was $850. So if you make $1,800 a month, 30% of that is $550, and if they're paying $850, they're paying more for their home. And so that's a demonstrated need. They could be in an apartment where it's run down. You've got bare wires showing. You've got mold in the bathroom. You may be living with a family member. That demonstrates need. The second criteria is their willingness to partner with us. We ask all partner families to put in 500 hours as sweat equity, and that qualifies them for a 0% interest loan. And so 500 hours, they get selected a year to a year and a half in advance, and so they will be working not only on their home, building it from the ground up, but they'll help at least 1 to 2 other partner families build their home. So they have to be willing to partner with us and attend board meetings. They have homeowner education classes, financial classes, Financial Peace University we require them to go to. And so that's how they earn their sweat equity for that. And then the last is their ability to pay, because this is not a giveaway program. They actually buy their home and pay a mortgage to our local affiliate. We are the bank. And so they have to have enough income to make the mortgage payment, the insurance, and tax payments. Now, our average mortgage payment to date, over our 30 houses that we build, $222.
That's the average payment.
That's mortgage payment, right?
$222.
Yeah. And on top of that, they pay approximately $125 for tax and insurance for their home.
So what would a monthly payment be?
Monthly payment could be $325 to $350 total.
That's significant
Yes.
savings, which, wow, that's amazing. That is actually mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it changes the whole family dynamics because they have extra money now that they can spend on maybe education. One partner family, I asked them, I said, what are you going to do with all this extra money? She said, I'm going to start investing in my kids' college education. I mean, that's a powerful statement from a family that really didn't know that they could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we go, my mind's blown. Rich, not gonna lie. Before we go, is there anything in closing that you would like to tell people, talk to the viewers about?
Well, just really encourage them to come out to our pet walk and help us raise funds for Habitat for Humanity. And like I say, the money that is raised here stays here, and it just helps to build more decent, affordable housing for very deserving partner families.
Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate your time coming out here
You're
to CityBeat and sharing, with everybody what you do at Habitat, and more specifically, how you can help impact your community by participating in the 2x4 walk. So thank you, Rich.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time on CityBeat.